Ladies and gentlemen, Andy here. I went from depressed and suicidal to living a life of abundance and joy. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. There's an article and a video that I've half written for, God, like a year and a half now at this point. And I thought, let's sit down, hit the record button, get this bloody thing done. So the concept is hot women are just experts at looking good. My intention for this article or this video was to give guys that are putting all this pressure on themselves or having all this stress when it comes to hitting on women, to give them sort of almost like an extension of an olive branch to them to say, look, hot women aren't going to bite your head off. And women in general aren't going to bite your head off. They're not some amazing, miraculous, godly species just because they're attractive. They are human beings at the end of the day. And I see a lot of guys that don't give themselves permission to talk to women, especially really attractive women, because they feel like they're not good enough to talk to these women. You know, they feel like these women are up here on this pedestal and here's me right down here, you know, just a chump. You know, she's too hot for me. She's out of my league. What if she rejects me? I'm not good enough to talk to her. I don't have anything to offer her or any of that kind of stuff. I see guys going on social media and comparing themselves to girls and feeling like they must, you know, these women must have the most coolest lives ever. They must just be so damn perfect and they must never have any problems and never have any insecurity. Or maybe they see a woman in public, a really hot woman in public, or just any woman in public, and they feel like they're not able to hit on her because they don't feel like they're worthy. They don't feel like they deserve to. And so if any of this relates to you, if any of this resonates with you and you're a guy who sort of struggles at times to feel like you deserve to talk to women, I want to sort of give this analogy. If you were an expert at, let's pick something really nerdy. Let's say you were an expert at a video game. Let's pick League of Legends or Dota 2, which are reasonably nerdy games. And they're games that require, for you to be decent at them, they require a lot of hours, you know, like 10,000 hours or so to get pretty decent at those games. And the ceiling, the skill ceiling of both of those games is incredibly high. Basically, you can keep playing for infinite time and there's always more that you can learn, always more that you can get better at. And so if you were an expert at the game, let's say you had put in like 20,000 hours at one of those two games and you were a complete and utter world expert. It wouldn't really be fair for me if I came along and I'd never played the games before. It wouldn't be fair for me to compare myself to you and beat myself up and say I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, you know, I'm shit, just because you dominate me. You would be an expert at that game. You have put in all the hours and the time and the effort. And so it's not about that you're better than me as a human being. It's not that I'm out of your league or I'm not good enough. You are just more experienced at this video game. And so the same kind of thing can apply when it comes to really attractive women. You can kind of think of it like, she's not better than me as a human being. I'm not unworthy. I'm not a piece of shit compared to her. She's not like some goddess or something and I'm just a pleb. She is just an expert at looking really good. She has been likely trying on makeup since she was, 12, 13, 14. She's been getting ridiculously good at wearing accessories and learning how to accessorize herself. She's been practicing how to dress herself, trying different styles, failing 10,000 times, improving ever since she was basically a teenager. You know, she's been learning how to take amazing selfies. In this day and age, since she was 12. You know, she's taken 1 million selfies in that time. She's learned how to pose. She's learned what angles and lighting work best. She knows how to show herself off. She knows how to hold herself and be calm and poised and gracious and beautiful and sexy and all of that kind of stuff. The vast majority of women are better at looking good. We're not even talking about very attractive women. Just the vast majority of women are better at looking good than the vast majority of men. The vast majority of men don't practice these skills. We are essentially, until we actually put effort in, we are essentially complete newbies. Like we're showing up on day one playing that video game and we're playing against, and it isn't against, you know, dating isn't men versus women, but people think that it is. It's like you're playing against someone or playing with someone who has 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 hours of practice at this thing. And so again, my intention for this article or this video that I've been procrastinating for a long time for whatever reason was to sort of bridge that gap between where you think your worthiness is and where a lot of you put women's worthiness. You know, you think that women are better than you, especially hot women, that they're better than you, they're out of your league, they're amazing human beings. No, they've just been practicing attractiveness for longer than you. You know, they know what to do when they have a pimple outbreak. You might not. They know how to style their hair. You might not know what the fuck you're doing with your hair. They know how to groom themselves. You probably don't. You probably don't have 15 different moisturizers, and, you know, you definitely don't have makeup. You don't have amazing clothes that fit you like amazing. For the most part, men's fashion is, I mean, I'll say this in a clumsy way. Men's fashion is complete and utter fucking dog shit compared to women's fashion. If none of you have ever done this, go shopping with a woman for a day and just walk around with her and look at all the stuff that she looks at and tries on. And you're just amazed by it. Every time I go shopping with my girlfriend or any other girl that we're dating, I'm just looking at all of the clothing options they have. And I'm like, holy shit, you guys get some amazing shit. And then if I ever take them with me shopping, it's like pants, shirt, different type of shirt, another shirt, another shirt. Oh, here's something slightly different. It's a cap. Oh, it's a hat. Oh, a beanie. Oh, fucking... It's just the same shit, but slightly fucking different. And so women have all of these options. They have all this experience. They've been putting in all of this effort to make themselves look good. For most women, their appearance is usually the thing that they care the most about. Or I could say it's the thing that they often put the most love and care and focus and attention on. And they spend often a ridiculous amount of time getting very good at it and making sure they have it nailed. Most men don't, you know, especially if we're talking about very attractive women or women that put a lot of effort into their appearance, which is probably the women that a lot of you are noticing, because they're the ones that if you're going out to talk to women or you're on Tinder, you're probably paying the most attention to the ones that you're attracted to, right? Like, obviously, that's the way dating works. We pay attention to the people that we're attracted to. And so you're probably paying the most attention to the women that are attractive. Those women in particular have spent effort on their hair, on their makeup, on their clothing, on their accessories. And even before they leave the house and put effort into those things, they've spent the entire, like I said, like 10 or 15 or 20 years preceding that, getting really good, practicing a lot at holding themselves, at knowing how to pose, at knowing how to look good, at knowing what to dress, what to wear, at knowing how to just play with their hair and look at, you know, the right way and twinkle their little eyelashes. Women are really fucking good at looking really good. Men, for the most part, are complete and utter dog shit at looking good. For most of us, we have to learn it. You know, most of the time a male client comes to me or comes to us and says, hey, you know, when they're doing coaching, hey, I want to improve my appearance. We will give them suggestions like, hey, okay, you got to dress yourself better. And they're like, what does that even mean? And we're like, okay, we have to hold their hand. And we literally have like style guides and walkthroughs and everything. We got all this shit literally designed as a walkthrough to hold someone's hand and say, okay, buy this exact shirt. Make sure that it fits you. Here is how to make sure that it fits you so it's not 3 sizes too big and it looks baggy. Here is how to buy a pair of pants. Here's how to make sure the pants fit you. Here is how to buy a belt that holds your fucking pants up. Like, literally, we have to walk people through the very basics. And even the basic shit, like, here is how to trim your beard so you don't just have, like, neck hair and fucking, here's how to shape your beard. Here is how to get a decent hairstyle. Most guys don't know how to do even the basic stuff that any woman listening is probably like, wait, you all don't know how to, like, brush your hair? And it's like, yeah, yes. A huge portion of men, particularly if you're coming to, you know, a self-improvement channel and a dating channel and a sex channel, you probably don't know how to do a lot of you won't know how to do the basics. I certainly didn't. Most of my clients don't. I'll say maybe 70% of clients don't know how to dress themselves, don't know how to groom, and we give them just the tiniest little basic shit, like change this, try this, tweak this, do this, and they're like, wow, all of a sudden I look like 10 times better. Yeah, because we just, as guys, we usually haven't practiced these skills, but most women from, again, the time that they're like a teenager, if not even before that, they have been practicing these skills because it's something that they care about. They know how to do their nails. Most of you, me included, have never even considered your fucking fingernails or your toenails or your ear hair or your nose hair, or like, we don't even think about this shit. We don't fuck around with our eyebrows. There are entire like beauty salons dedicated to just what's known as like threading, which most of you won't even know what that is, but like threading and laminating and tweezering and all sorts of shit for a woman's eyebrows. And most of us are just like, wait, you fuck around with your eyebrows? And women are like, are you kidding me? We put a ridiculous amount of time into our eyebrows. You probably never notice, but all of these different facets of a woman looking beautiful or looking her absolute best, we just as men usually don't care about. And so again, when you're looking at these women and saying, wow, they're so much better looking than me. Yeah, because they focused on it. It's why in my big Tinder guide, you all know I wrote that big, massive Tinder guide. It's on my website. The very first chapter of the Tinder guide, in fact, it's a quarter of the entire length of the Tinder guide, is how to improve your appearance. Literally, that's like the main, you could do nothing else in the Tinder guide. You could do nothing else for your dating and sex life, but just work on your appearance. And that's probably going to have the biggest impact. I guess the second biggest impact would be to work on your mindset. But man, if you just improve your looks, holy shit, you are head and shoulders above the vast majority of men. You don't even have to look amazing. I don't. This isn't amazing. I just put some basic effort in, like the very basic stuff. And again, most women do that by default, but most guys don't. And so that's why you look, or that's a big reason why you might be looking at a woman, especially an attractive woman, and going, she's better than me. She's more attractive than me. I'm out of her league. No, you just haven't been trying. So what would happen if you put in a little bit of effort? And you start with baby steps. You don't have to just on day one look like an absolute fucking stud. But what if you were to put even 10% of the amount of effort that most women put in to their outward appearance? What if you were to put a bit of self-love into your appearance? What if you were to groom yourself? What if you were to get your teeth whitened? What if you were to fix up your hair? Or if you've got a bad hairline or a receding hairline, just shave it, try shaving it all off. What if you were to shape that beard? What if you were to get rid of the neck beard? What if you were to keep it to a manageable length and style? What if you were to dress, decently? You don't even have to dress amazing, just decently. Go to Zara, go to H&M, any of these stores, and just buy some outfit. What if you were to take some better pictures? What if you were to just start doing the basics, and then you kind of bridge that gap between where you think a woman is at, where you perceive she's at, and where you perceive you're at. You can slowly like raise yourself up to that point where you're like, hey, I'm pretty attractive now too. A lot of people internalize or they judge their self-worth off their appearance. And fair enough, it's kind of like your resume, right? Like it's your outward appearance. It's like the cover letter. But if you just haven't been putting effort into that resume or your appearance, it's not that you're not a good person. It's not that she's better than you. It's not that she's some wonderful creature who's on fucking cloud nine or some shit. She's just like a goddess and you're just a useless piece of shit. No, she's just an expert at looking good. She's put effort into looking good. She's put care, time, attention, focus, love into looking good. So what if you were to do the same thing? Just like the video game analogy, she is the expert. Like the guy who's played 10,000 hours, he makes it look so easy. And you tell a story of how he's better than you, or he's a god, or you're just a piece of shit compared to him. He's just more practiced than you. That is how I have achieved literally every goal that I've ever achieved. It's not because I'm fucking amazing. Like the reason I've had whatever it is at this point, 100 threesomes or whatever the fuck it is not because I'm amazing. It's not because I'm a great human being. It's not because I'm some special fucking creature. No, I literally just practiced. I literally just put so much focus and time and energy and love, I guess, into my sex life and got ridiculously good at it by just practicing over years. The same with my coaching business, the same with this YouTube channel and all of this. It's not that I'm amazing at anything. No, I just fucking practiced. And the same thing with women. I think every single hot woman would tell you this. Every single woman would tell you this if you would take the time to speak to them. And by the way, that's one of my favorite things to do after sex. And I encourage all of you to do it too. After you have sex, you're laying there, you're cuddling. Start asking a woman about her experience, what it's like to be her, what it's like to live her life, what it's like to be attractive, what it's like to have the pressures that come with being attractive, and actually get some of that beautiful, beautiful information and knowledge and understanding and empathy. And you'll see that all she's really ever done is put time and attention into it. It's not that she's an amazing human being. I did this piece of content a while ago called Women Are Just Human Beings with a Pussy. And it sounds like a funny thing to say, but that was a huge revelation to me because for the longest time, I told this story that women, particularly very attractive women, were like better than me. They were up here and I was down here. And I would tell this story that they were somehow special, some otherworldly creature who was better than me. And I had this massive, big epiphany one day after talking to enough women where I was like, wow, and this is going to sound hilarious to any women listening. I was like, wow, women have their own problems. Women have their own insecurities. Women have their own life going on. Who would have ever guessed? I literally thought they just lived a charmed, perfect life with no struggles, no problems, no insecurities, no doubts, no fears. And it's like, now I look back, this was like, I don't know, 5 years ago. Now I look back on that time and I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, why did you think women were like different? Like they weren't a human being or something. They were like some alien species. But I think that's how a lot of men view women. And on the flip side, a lot of women view men the same way. They view men as these like stoic, perfect, uncaring, unfeeling, cold robots who just never have any struggles and they can just take whatever they want and they just get whatever they want, and it's a patriarchy and they never have any struggles and they never cry and they're never sad and they never have any doubts. So both genders kind of do it, right? But I did it to the extreme where I literally thought if any woman was even slightly more attractive than me, then she was somehow a better person than me and I didn't deserve to talk to her. And I remember the first time I ever talked to like a really attractive woman. It took me I had already been hitting on and approaching women in public for I don't know, maybe 3 months or something. And so I'd already talked to a couple hundred women, but I just avoided any woman that I found really attractive. So I was talking to women that I found attractive. I even went on some dates and had sex and I was very attracted to the women, but I didn't talk to any woman that I felt was out of my league. And I remember just pushing myself for weeks and weeks and weeks, trying to. Every time I would see a woman that I thought was out of my league, I would try and talk to her, but I just couldn't do it. There was all of these stories in my head of I'm not good enough, I don't deserve to, I shouldn't bother her, she probably lives some beautiful celebrity lifestyle or some shit, and she doesn't have time to talk to the common people. It's meanwhile, she's literally just in the grocery store buying cans of fucking tinned beans or whatever. She's just living a normal life. And I'm like, wow, she's a celebrity. She's too hot for me. Anyway, finally, I work up the courage. I'm standing there outside this grocery store for 10 minutes. And this woman is kind of standing there waiting for a friend or something. I don't know. She's standing there for a while and I'm kind of on my phone and I'm just trying to work up the courage. And I'm like, come on, Andy, talk to her. She's right there. She's not doing anything. Talk to her. Come on. And I'm working up the courage for so long. And then finally I go and do it. And she's just so nice. And any of you who've talked to enough women will be like, yeah, of course she was. The vast majority of women were nice. But this was such a revelation to me at the time. It blew my mind. Here was this woman, she had tattoos and she was dressed like a badass and she was so fucking sexy and, she had big boobies. And I was just looking at her and I was like, she's way too good to be talking to me. And yet here she is being ridiculously nice to me, being very grateful that I told her that she's attractive and we're having this conversation. And she ultimately, didn't give me her phone number. I don't know if she had a boyfriend. It doesn't matter. But man, we had this beautiful conversation. And I remember leaving that going holy shit. And I texted one of my friends and I was like, dude, I just talked to the hottest woman that I've ever talked to. And he was like, how did it go? And I was like, she was nice to me. And he's like, yeah. Why wouldn't she be? But that was such a fucking revelation to me because I really thought that, she would be too good for me. I thought, I don't know, someone would come swooping in or something and be like, hey, pleb, you're not allowed to talk to her. Her security would come in and be like, you can't talk to her. She's too attractive for you. Or I thought she would say that. I thought she'd be like, fuck off. I'm too good for you. And over the next, year or two, I just started pushing myself to talk to more and more attractive chicks. And anytime I would see a woman that I just thought was way out of my league, I'd go, no, take away your preconceived notions, let go of your limiting beliefs, shut down those doubts and just try. Just see what happens. Just go into this with curiosity to see what will happen. And every single time without fail, when I talked to a ridiculously hot woman, guess what? They were all fucking nice. Every single time. Some of them even gave me phone numbers. I even slept with a couple. Every single fucking time they were nice. And it slowly dissolved this idea that I had in my head of man, these attractive women are too good for me. They're perfect creatures who never have any doubts, never have any fears. They're out of my league. They're up here and I'm down here. No, they're just human beings who happen to have a vagina and happen to be attractive. They're literally just human beings who happen to be experts at looking good. And I remember something else that I used to be insecure about before I hit on women in general, but before I hit on really attractive women. I would look at their social medias. I would look at Instagram and I'd see all these attractive women on Instagram, and there wasn't TikTok back then, but you know, I guess Instagram was the equivalent of TikTok. And I would see all of this shit and I'd just be like, wow, they live the coolest life. They're so hot. And it really helped me to realize that all I was seeing was the highlight reels from their life. I was seeing the perfectly curated, almost carefully manufactured, I think that's a reasonable statement, manufactured moments from the best moments of their life when they had taken 100 photos just to get that one that they ended up uploading. They tried different angles and different this. And if you pay attention, especially if you see really attractive women, if you actually watch some of them taking photos, they will take literally hundreds of photos. It will just ask any attractive woman, go up to any of you listening right now, go up to an attractive woman in public and be like, hey, like, I'm curious, this bald guy on YouTube told me that when you take a selfie, like for your Instagram, you kind of have to take a lot of photos to get a really good one. Like, is that true? And they'll be like, well, yeah. What do you mean? You think I just snap one photo and it happens to be perfect? How would that ever be the case? And as a photographer myself, you know, and I've done dating photos for people, and I am a photographer. I say the same thing to people when I'm going out to do a photo shoot for someone. I say, listen, we're going to take hundreds of photos, and a couple of them will be amazing, chef's kiss, brilliant, beautiful, but the rest will be like a work in progress. The rest are almost like the stepping stones to get to that perfect photo. That's just how photography is. Literally any fucking photographer in the universe will tell you that. The way that you take a really good photo is by taking lots of different photos, especially if we're talking about modeling. So any modeling photographer will tell you, yeah, of course you have to take lots of photos. How the fuck would you ever take one photo and it's the best? That doesn't make any sense. Photography, like especially with models, is a play. Like you're playing off each other. You know, you take some photos, you try some different angles, try a different pose, try different lighting, you're kind of just playing around and experimenting until you get those couple of magical photos. And especially an attractive woman on Instagram, she's taking hundreds of fucking photos. So just start paying attention, or ask an attractive woman, yo, do you have to take a lot of photos to get like a really good one for Instagram? And they'll be like, yes. The fuck question is that? Of course I do. And so you're seeing these like carefully curated or carefully manufactured, and not to say that in a nefarious way, but like it takes a lot of effort, right? And it's not, I won't say that it's fake, because it's not fake. You are capturing a moment in time, but it's somewhat rehearsed. It's highly curated. It's perfectly put together, and you're not seeing all of the photos she took that didn't look good. You're not seeing all of the moments where she didn't look pretty, or she thought, oh, I don't like that. I look really ugly. I don't like that. I look fat. I don't like that. She throws all of them away, because that's what Instagram is. It is the highlight reels of your life. Same with TikTok and basically every social media app. You can say my YouTube channel is sort of the same, although, like, to some degree it is, yes. I'm sharing with you the best thoughts that I can think to share with you. I'm not sharing the random 1,000 retarded thoughts that I have as I go about my day. Like, I do, you probably wouldn't want to hear them. Maybe some of you would, so that you could be like, ha, that's silly. But I'm trying to share with you the stuff that I think will help you the most. So that's curated. I don't rehearse them, and this isn't fake. Like, I'm just spitball. I'm very much shooting from the hip. This is all me just talking as a stream of consciousness. But I came up with this concept before I sat down here today. So to some extent, this is like manufactured in a way. And that's what social media is. And so I would sit there and look at all of these Instagram accounts, and I would assume that these women had the coolest lives, and they were just like swimming in dick, and like they just had infinite friends and money and experiences and opportunities, and their life must be so easy, and they would never struggle with anything, and they never get sad, and they never have a heartbreak. I just thought that their lives must be perfect. And the reality is that they're just human beings. And again, every woman listening to this is like, yeah, of course we're just human beings. But that was such a massive like flip for me, a massive realization for me, to realize that a lot of them had incredibly mundane, like normal lives, just like mine. And they weren't better just because they were attractive. They were just experts at looking good. And bridging that gap, or realizing that most of her life wasn't glamorous. It was just these little carefully manufactured moments in time that appeared very glamorous. And she was showing me the glamorous shit because that's what hits on Instagram. That's what clicks. If you show the very manufactured, beautiful, glamorous, amazing amazing moments, then you get likes. That's how it works. You know, the same as me, again, in my channel. I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to share the best content with you so that you will follow, so that you will subscribe, so that you will give me money, so that you will pay for coaching, so that you will change your life, so that you will send me a nice email or a comment saying, hey, Andy, that video really helped. I actually changed my life because of that video. Thank you. I'm really glad you put effort and care and focus and love and attention into making that content as good as you possibly could. That's basically what Instagram is. You give her likes, you give her attention, you give her comments, you say, hey, I really like this. Can I please buy you a fucking cocktail or whatever? Can I give you some money? Can I give you a sponsorship deal? Can I just follow you? Can I subscribe to you? Because of the effort, love, attention, focus, care, and energy and time that you've put into this fucking photo of you, this selfie, this photo of your food, this cute little video of you and your dog being adorable together. It's just the nature of what it is. It's what this thing is. A final really important point. When we're comparing ourselves, or if you're comparing yourself to a woman who's an expert at looking good and has put effort into her appearance for all of this time, for a decade or so, remember that it's not a competition. I don't like this word, but I'm going to say it anyway. Now, here's what I'll say. Looks and appearance are not the only thing that you have to offer. It's not the only domain of dating, right? And so if you're looking at a woman's appearance and saying, wow, she's so much more attractive than me, which might be true, your attractiveness is not the only thing that you have to offer. It's not the only value that you have to give. You're cherry picking one little aspect and comparing yourself to her. And of course, you're going to fall short in that domain unless you're ridiculously attractive or a male model with great style and fashion, or you've put in a ton of time into your appearance and, you've gone to the gym for 5 years and you've got good, threads. And if you put a fuck ton of effort in, sure, yes. And for a lot of you, that might be the goal. You might want to look as good as possible. In that case, beautiful, amazing. But it isn't the only domain that you're not competing, but it isn't the only domain that you're entering a relationship in. Like, it's not just, are you at the same level of attractiveness as me or close enough to it? Yes. Okay, then we can date. That's not how it works. That is a big part of it for a lot of people, but a lot of people care about a lot more than just appearance. I'll say everyone cares about things more than just appearance, unless you're going for like just a super casual hookup or a one-night stand. But looks, style, and all of that, yes, that helps. But she's going to probably, again, it's not a competition, but she's probably going to kick your ass in that domain. It's not a competition, but you get the point. That's not all that you have. You have confidence. That's one thing that you can offer. You have your mental state and your mindset and how clear you are and how peaceful you are, how loving you are, how kind and empathetic you are, how funny you are, how... even just on the confidence thing, if you're walking up to a woman and hitting on her, yes, she might be significantly more attractive than you, but do you know what you have? You have confidence and a big fucking heavy pair of steel balls. And she knows that because most of them will tell you. They'll be like, oh, well, thank you for hitting. This is confident. You will get a lot of women literally saying, good job hitting on me. That's so brave of you to hit on me. Plenty of them will pat you on the back and you get credit for that. It's like an extra little thing of value that you're offering. If we're talking about outside of approaching, we're talking about Tinder or online dating, you being extremely to the point and not wasting time and stating exactly what you want, which is what I recommend, just saying exactly what you want. Here's what I'm looking for. Let's make it happen. That gets you massive brownie points. That's a huge thing of value that you're offering. If you have your shit together, like you have a job, you have your apartment, maybe you even run your own business if you're that far along or that's something that's important to you. Maybe you have some sort of money or stability. You just generally have your shit together. That's something that is massively attractive to a lot of women, especially attractive women. Women in general. You having the guts to try and have sex with her when 99% of men are too scared to even admit that they're attracted to someone, that's massively attractive. You liking yourself and knowing what your principles are and who you are as a man and what you want and your place in the universe. And if you don't know those things, that's fine. You can work on those. Probably the easiest place to start is grab my video course, The Play to Win Mindset. There's a link down below. You pay $1 for that, but that's something that you can build. But that is massively attractive. Like, there's so many things that don't just involve your attractiveness to women. Again, sense of humor, being interesting, having a cool life going on, having a great social life, having interesting hobbies, or just any fucking hobbies that you're passionate about, being empathetic and understanding and listening to her. Holy shit, that is a huge fucking thing. All of these things, there are a billion other things that I could list off that are massively attractive to the opposite sex. And she might be looking at you and she might be going, yes, I'm fucking attractive and I'm more attractive than him, but holy shit, he has his shit together. Man, I would give anything to just understand who the fuck I am, because I don't know. I'm just out here trying to look pretty, and sometimes I feel unpretty, and I don't know if I have anything to offer other than my attractiveness. And sure, I have 100,000 followers on Instagram, but I don't think they actually like me. I think they just like the fake version of me where I carefully curate and manufacture all of these photos and these glamorous moments in time. But I don't think any of my followers actually give a fuck about me, who I am as a human being. They don't know me because I'm afraid to let them in and share that with them. I'm afraid to be vulnerable. That's something else that you can offer, honesty and vulnerability. Honesty is a huge fucking thing to offer, by the way. But back to, the woman. And so she might be looking at you going, man, this guy's confident, reasonably confident, because he came and hit on me, or he asked for what he wanted on Tinder. He's honest as hell. My God, I would give anything to be as honest as him. He doesn't really say any bullshit. He doesn't fake anything. My God, I would give anything to be like that. He has a cool life going on. He has all of these friends. He dresses pretty decently. He seems to be sure of himself. And more than anything, he doesn't seem to give a fuck if I say no to him. He doesn't seem desperate or needy. He's just casually telling me that I'm attractive, or that I'm hot, or that I'm sexy, or that I'm pretty, or I'm cute. And he's chatting to me. And he doesn't look like he would actually give a shit if I turned him down. Holy fuck, I would give anything to be like that. I'm so insecure. If somebody ever rejected me, I'd probably cry for a week. And this guy has a I don't give a fuck attitude. He has that beautiful abundance mentality. He has that outcome independence. She won't use those words, but like, she'll get a vibe from you that you're not needy. She'll get a vibe that you're okay if she says no. She'll get a vibe that you're fine, that you're okay, that your life is beautiful, that you don't need anything from her. And with all of that combined, and if you don't have all of that, that's fine. These are all things that you can improve and work on, and that's what my channel and my coaching and all of that, my video course is there for. But, she'll get a vibe from you and go like, holy fuck, she might even start telling the story of like, this guy is above me. Again, it's not a competition. It's not about a hierarchy. And that's the point of this entire fucking video, but that's what she might be feeling. Like, holy shit, this guy's too good for me. Like, why the fuck does this guy want to date me? I would give anything to have my life together the way he does. I don't have my shit together. My life is a mess, despite all of the glamour and all of that I put on Instagram. And obviously not every hot woman has a mess of a life, but enough of them do. And you might talk to that one, and she might look at you and go, wow, this guy has a lot going for him. And just because I'm more attractive, she won't even be thinking about that. Wow, this guy has his shit together. And one more thing that you have to offer, if you walk up to a woman and you actually hit on her and talk to her and ask for her number, or you're on Tinder and you're extremely honest and direct and straight to the point and you don't beat around the bush, by being that direct, you are often the only guy who's been that direct with her in a long time, sometimes ever. She might sleep with you or go on a date with you or give you a chance just because you were the only one who actually asked. All of these other guys sitting there going, she's too hot for me. She'd never say yes to me. She's out of my league. Or the guys that walk up with a false sense of that bravado of like, hey, what's up? What up, sexy? I'm too fucking good for you. What up? With that kind of like fake bravado that's just dripping with insecurity. If you just walk up and do your absolute best, and again, these are skills you can practice, but do your best to just be your normal self and be your outcome independent self and walk up and go, hey, I thought you were cute. What's up? Do you want to chat for a little bit? If you can just be you, you are likely or often the only person who's actually just treated her fucking normally and not had this insecurity or this weird fucking thing between you both where you're aware of how attractive she is and you're insecure about it. If you just remove that guilt and that shame and that insecurity and that fear and the weirdness that most people have when they talk to a very attractive woman, if you just treat her like a normal fucking human being, you might be the only guy who's done that in quite a long time. And that is something of value that you have to offer. So to sum all of this up, stop comparing, stop holding back, get out there, hit on some chicks, hit on some attractive women, hit on some less attractive women, just hit on women if this is something that's important to you. And you're going to be surprised that some of them will say yes, just because you had the balls to actually ask. As always, go out there, crush those goals, and stop holding back. If you've been wanting an amazing, awesome, elite sex life, tons of threesomes, plenty of wild adventures and great memories with awesome people, we would love to help you get there. Here's just a little bit of what our coaching clients have achieved in their time in the program. Renee had a threesome in just his second week of coaching, had a woman write him a love letter, and he went on to have sex with 12 women in just 12 weeks of coaching. Corky had his first threesome, slept with 7 amazing women, and made a ton of awesome memories with them. George and Power both had sex with 10 women each in their 12 weeks, had a bunch of wild adventures along the way. Join me and join them by clicking the coaching link in the description below.